Thank you for joining us today. One of the things that we've been talking about with the young entrepreneurs is the need for them to be aware of copyright when they're starting their business, even if at the beginning it does not seem important. You were making the point that in education it's really essential that young entrepreneurs are aware of copyright, of protecting their copyright, but more importantly, in a way, of not infringing other people's copyright. Is that right?
Yes, you are right. Now we do not have enough classes in our universities as we knew today. Because sometimes they have some classes, sometimes it's just only a theme or just only a topic that implements in the main subjects, yes, or the main classes. But anyway, it's very important for Uzbekistan to have such classes because, as you mentioned, they maybe do not know that they break the law. This is the main point.
Yes.
Yeah, and so presumably when you are teaching in the university, you actually change what you would teach to a business because you're dealing with students who are just beginning to grow their businesses. So do you adapt what you say to them? Do you change your teaching because of their age and the level of their business?
So, you know, just only to clarify for you, I'm not teaching right now in the university copyright. We have some workshops, we have some master classes, but it's not like the real day-by-day teaching, yeah? So, first of all, what we need right now for our universities, they study just only definitions. And the definitions is nothing if you just only know that the law of copyright was established in 1710 in the UK, for example, the first law, yes? It's nothing. So we need more practitioners in this area to teach students because copyright changes every day. And it's really a challenge for us, and especially according to digitalization, according to the internet, yes? And that's why we need these people who works in this area and who knows this law, not just only like a teacher.
In your workshops, are you teaching people very specifically for business startup?
We have different directions in this area. For example, if people just only want to know what does it mean copyright, so we have these special workshops. So what does it mean copyright just only? If people want to know some cases, we teach them and we show them how it works. We show them how it works. Next step, for example, if you want to use your startup and you do not know nothing about copyright, so we start from the what does it mean copyright and how do not break the law, how do not breach the law. So because sometimes a startup, as we talked before, sometimes you do not know that somebody invented it before, or you use the other works, for example, to present your startup, and you use music in this time, and you do not know that you should contact authors.
I think the important thing for young people starting in business is the point you made. Because we've been talking a lot about informal businesses, and people sometimes think if their business is informal, they don't need to regulate anything. And your point was, if you're infringing copyright, you're breaking the law. And so you have to be aware of it. And this is the issue, is to be aware of the fact that ideas have value, and that value means something to somebody. So even if entrepreneurs at the beginning of their careers are not aware of the intricacy of copyright law, they need to be aware of the concept of rights and rights protection. It seems to me that's the essential issue, which you were talking about with the young entrepreneurs next door.
Yeah, you are right. You caught the point. So this is the main point, because people should know, especially people in creative industry, that develops so fast as, for example, copyright law, and they need to know more and more. But here we do not have enough classes, we do not have enough teachers, so that's why we need, first of all, train teachers, and then teachers will train their students, for example, yeah? Or maybe we can start to do both way. We can teach students and we can teach, for example, teachers. Training for trainers or training for students.
Yes, and particularly in the digital sphere, because I think that's where it's just
yes,
Wild
it's
West,
very,
that people have no idea of their rights online.
Yes, and it's very, challenging sphere right now, so...
Particularly people creating new computer games and the relationship with music and the relationship with existing characters in computer games.
Yeah, you're right, especially not just only music, for example, characters. They can use maybe, oh, I like this drawing on the wall. I will use this for my computer game, but the author of this drawing is another person. And anyway, you need to ask permission, you need to find this author.
Yes.
Or anyway, you need just only maybe take some steps to find the author of this drawing.
Do you think this is all, in a way, too much work and too complicated for young entrepreneurs, and maybe they need an agent, maybe they need some other body that helps them do this?
When we start, we do not have enough money to have these agents, so it's very difficult. We need, for example, special organization like the Chamber for the Protection of Copyright, because people can apply to us and ask to help, and it doesn't cost huge amount of money, yes? So, I mean, for people who want to use. For artists, it costs nothing. For artists, it costs nothing.
Wow.
But, for example, for young people, if we talk about special agencies or special agents, it's very difficult right now because in Uzbekistan we do not have so many specialists in this sphere. And anyway, the sphere changes every day. And in Uzbekistan, for example, we need to include in our law special article about internet and internet using to protect people who use internet to spread their works, for example.
I think, well, the idea of having intermediate agencies or rights collecting agencies, I mean, of course there are established rights collecting agencies for music and for literature and for photography and art, but for the creative industries generally, there isn't a single agency which takes on responsibility for protecting people's rights. And it sounds, I mean, this is something which is being discussed in countries around the world, but would your agency fulfill that function for Uzbekistan, or is it a private organization or a state organization?
This is NGO. This is NGO, yes, and we cover all rights except film rights. So except film rights, because they have their own agency, their own organization to cover their rights. So we present here all rights.
Okay. Good.
I think one thing that we were talking about earlier that seemed to be quite important was the way in which subjects are taught in universities. And obviously you've had experience of doing this. And the very traditional way of standing at the front of a class and giving information doesn't seem to suit this subject really well.
No, it doesn't suit at all, to be honest, because we need more challenge, how to say it, more challenge manner. Can I say this in English? So we need to work with audience. We do not need just only stay and talk. Please answer. Yes, your answer correct or incorrect. Yes, we cannot say like this. Every answer can be correct and every answer can be incorrect, but we need to decide how to direct these people. Yes, how just only to direct, but not tell, take this way. So no, this is not right anyway method of teaching.
Yeah. Okay.
This is very old and.
We are hearing this from lots and lots of different groups of people, that form of teaching or teaching practical creative industries areas needs a form that is different from this rather traditional methodology. And what do you get? What's the benefit for you of working with students?
I am another fairy tale. I'm another story because I just like to share any knowledge, and I like this connection with people, and when they can use it, it's very important to me. So for me, benefit, I'm sorry, it's not 21st century answer, but it's not money. It's not about money. For me, the main benefit, when people know about this subject, about this area more.
Sure. That's a good note to end on.